of the Heimerdinger placeholder. When players do not own the specific champion that another player of their team wants to pick in order to switch that one out, they of course pick another, well, completely irrelevant champion, like in this case the Heimerdinger, to show us that it is going to be another champion than they are actually picking, and then they tell us, and then we tell you what that champion is actually going to be. So in this case, the Heimerdinger is indeed going to be the Ziggs, as we should be rushing through this picks and ban phase once again very, very quickly. And well, nothing standing out too much here for me, except then maybe the Nidalee, which is showing me that Ynet is looking to maybe run a little bit of a poke composition with Rallis' Lucian.
Yeah, that's the thing though, against Ziggs, it's not nearly as easy to do that, because poke generally means sieging. Nidalee is a very good sieging champion. Obviously, she has the heal, she has the attack speed to help you take down towers if you get up close, she has the poke to zone people away from towers, and she has the traps to make it more difficult to engage upon people sieging towers. So Nidalee is very much a sieging champion. But the problem against Ziggs is he clears waves so easily and from such range that it makes life really, really difficult for Nidalee to get close. And even if they do get close, it makes it very hard for them to actually take down the towers. Now, will they be able to do it anyway? Maybe. If Mima gets strong enough, he can start doing split push pressure, force them to split up, and the reliable engage from STO isn't that amazing. They've only really got Chains of Corruption to lead in, or potentially a jump in from Renekton, but both of those are quite short range, so their counter siege is largely going to consist of potentially looking for engages, but spending most of their time wave clearing. So interesting situation. They have some real strengths and some really serious weaknesses. But guys, we are just going to be going into a quick delay timer. Obviously, we are on the live servers, hence the placeholder system. And we'll just be going into a quick break while that delay timer ticks down. So we are going into a quick break, he says, repeating himself, having gone into automatic processing mode. And we'll see you after this.
Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. From the dust we will awaken, and life will fill our veins. But these are the moments that we live for. Keep it inside of me.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is game 3 in this best of 5 series. STO up against their opponents here, who are Oinkers Never Sleep, which is a name that regularly slips my memory, but I have managed to hold on to this time with my forgettery. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are onto the Rift, and I am Spuddington, joined by Nature.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is fairly interesting compared to last games, as we do not have any invades happening just yet. Both teams are just fanning out along the river to spot any incoming invades out. But as I said, no real stuff happening, as they will probably be just waiting it out until the minions spawn, and then just go in there and start farming. So no real aggression, and it seems like it is actually going to be a 2 versus 2 lane in that bottom lane once again.
Yes, it does, and precedent shows us that's not necessarily a good thing for STO, but they have picked a little bit more of a bursty lane this time, but they are going to have to contend with Lucian Sona. That's a really brutal combination, and very comfortable champions as well for both Mr. Rallas and for Mixer, so that's a scary thing to have to deal with. But we are seeing Bronze 5 tactics right now. Yuki and Kuja are sitting in the brush, waiting for someone to come in. If they end up in a 2-on-2 at this stage of the game, I'm honestly not sure who would come out ahead, but they've actually got the cutoff, and they're going to charge a piercing arrow to try and get the lane pushing their direction.
So Mixture and Rallas trying to put as much poke down on Kuja as they can. Good double shots coming down on Rallas with the, of course, Light Slinger passive, as Kuja and the Yuki will just be trying to farm this one out. The Piercer Light coming through to maybe retaliate with some poke for themselves, but nothing really too interesting. And, ooh, good piercing arrow coming down for Yuki to put some more poke down on towards Rallas. Now, this is going to be interesting. The Renekton, or the Yorick farm being run by Airwax, and well, you said they have run that before, if I'm correct.
Yes, indeed. Not necessarily together, although I wouldn't be surprised if they had. I just can't remember 100%, but certainly comfort champions for both of them. We've seen Lucian, Mr. Rallas, like all the time. They prioritize that champion for him hugely in their picking order, and Mixer does love his Sona as well, so really, really strong, and he's in a very aggressive support, by the way, so expect to see him try and make flash crescendo plays as this game goes by. Meanwhile, though, speaking of aggression, Armin is heading towards this bottom lane. It's doing much the same, so we'll see who is the stronger in this kind of 3-on-3 potential situation. Yuki giving a bit of respect there, and they are going to back away, but this is actually kind of a bait.
Ignite has landed on towards Yuki. He is forced to use his barrier, but first blood goes toward Airwax, who does manage to turn it around. Now, we do have Rallas picking up the kill for himself, as he will be backing away safely, but Amin has shown towards the party, as he did almost try to, turn this one around for himself, being forced to flash in the end. Great grasping roots coming out of Kuja, and well, that is going to be the end of that. So, both kills going over to either team, and it is looking actually, sorry about that Airwax and Kuja are pressuring that bottom lane a little bit more.
A lot of summoner spells used in that engage. Lee Sin even being forced to blow his flash. Airwax blowing his. Barrier, however, is still up on Lucian, and that gives them a lot of potential to go for aggressive engages. Now, White Knight in the mid lane is in a very dangerous situation. Ziggs still has his flash. If he can land a Q and an auto attack passive, that would be enough, but White Knight is healing up slowly here, so should be able to get at least these creeps. But Ziggs is giving quite a hard time to Nidalee at the moment, and he's able to push this hard just because he knows that bottom lane has just drawn a lot of the pressure from the junglers.
Alright, so as we are back into a little bit of a lull in the game, either team just waiting for the others maybe to make a move, or until they are just high enough in levels to take down some more objectives. Kuja has rejoined Yuki in that bottom lane. He might be looking for a quick grasping route on towards Mixia, as he is all alone. But then again, we do have Amin there to actually help him out if needed. And we do also have Rallas looking to rejoin his support as soon as possible. And this is actually a little bit cheeky. Airwax looking to do a little bit of an invade and maybe steal away something Amin is going to find him. I'm not too sure whether this is going to go good for Amin. Amin taking a whole lot of damage because of those ghouls. He is being forced to back away under his turret. And that does, of course, also force away Rallis and Mixia, as we do have Arax just backing away. Get a little bit of poke down on Amin. We'll probably be finding him again. Sonic Grave connects. No resonating strike, of course, because that would put him in a dangerous situation.
This is smart from Airwax, though. He's willing to fight Armin one-on-one, and in fact, he's going to keep doing it, forcing him out of the jungle.
That is doing a little bit too much damage for Amin for his liking, of course. Amin being forced towards those wolves, and that is the only place he knows of just now that is safe, as Airwax indeed did force him out of his very own jungle, and he will just be taking down some of those wraiths. We'll be keeping some of them alive as well, and he is heading down towards that bottom lane. And Rallis and Mixia actually have to know this is going to happen, because they know Airwax is lurking around in that jungle. And here he goes, might be looking for an actual dive here. Some ping is coming down on him that he might just be there, and I don't think he's actually been spotted out by a ward. So Mixia and Rallis playing it safe, but this might be dangerous if Arax decide to go in.
His simple presence is keeping that super aggro lane very, very defensive, though, and they need to come out at least on decent terms. Yuki taking a lot of damage there, and they might actually want to recall off of that, but right now STO are doing better than they did in the first game, but not quite as well as they did in the second, and that's probably because they haven't gotten their super comfort Vayne pick, and the jungle camp isn't directly resulting in kills. However, it is meaning that the really aggressive thing, Armin on Lee Sin, he's not actually getting anything done. No kills from him, and that's just because Yorick has always been in his face and always been in his jungle, taking away his stuff. And that gives a lot of the lanes a lot of advantages, because Ziggs is able to shove in mid and make White Knight's life a misery, as you can actually see from their CS difference. Going for the kill and getting it, in fact. So making his life a misery there. And it's allowing the top Renekton to push really, really hard as well.
Yeah, so a little bit of an explosive ending of White Knight's life right there. So that is going to be yet another kill going over towards STO, as I do keep confusing those names, but I'll just keep and try on, as Yuki and Kuja in that bottom lane are looking to actually shove that one out to put some more pressure on towards Rallis and Mixia. Maybe, Kuja might be looking to find Rallis there. Puts the plant out, but no real damage coming out just yet, as Airwax has been sent over to that middle lane to maybe pressure that one a little bit more to make sure White Knight doesn't get the farm he needs, but it seems like he will just be backing away, and White Knight is given the freedom to farm, as we do have Zilks probably picking up his blue buff as a result.
Yeah, indeed, and actually looks like White Knight may want to try and contest this, but Ziggs is sniffing out the possibility, and White Knight is sniffing out the possibility that there might be a bait in progress there. So they will be able to get that blue buff over to Ziggs, and it will be a straight blue buff matchup in mid now. That's probably going to be better now for Nidalee than it has been all game, but because of that kill, he's now significantly behind, as well as that CS gap, and Ziggs will still be able to punish really, really hard, assuming White Knight doesn't spam so many spears that she manages to snipe every minion individually down, because Cougar form is great wave clear, but it forces you to get in close, which is dangerous.
As he did manage to land a couple of good javelins, and this one will not connect. White Knight gets very close, and he does get a couple of good hits down on towards Zilks, and this time around with the blue buff, it seems like he will be able to stay in lane a little bit longer. Ooh, good javelin once again on towards Zilks, and Zilks is now for himself being forced away, which is of course not ideal. And well, this is a little bit of a turnaround compared to the situation we had earlier.
That's often the way with mid lane Nidalee, of course. She's just quite weak early on, lacks the counter pushing, lacks the pressure, but there is a gank in bottom lane, Chain of Corruption.
Yeah, great grasping rooster towards Rallis, great crescendo, however, Yuki being forced down instantly. He has got the Yorick ultimate on himself though, and I don't think he's, no, he doesn't have his ultimate available anymore. Good hail of arrows, good grasping roots on towards Amin. He is just getting blown up, but a great safeguard will be allowing him to get out.
Yes, indeed. So, it's an okay trade there. AD carry for AD carry. But Varus is, again, not the one picking up the kills. And while he is a fairly supportive AD carry, It's not exactly what they want. They do still need him to be putting out a lot of their damage, even though they do have some significant threats in the form of Ziggs and Renekton. Renekton does not seem to be getting the same dominance he did in the second game, although he isn't being beaten back as badly as he was in the first. That is still going to mean that they're going to have to contend with a lot of bigger damage threats from their opposing side. Lucian is always going to be hitting harder than their particular choice in Varus.
Meanwhile, that middle lane, White Knight might be in trouble. Bouncing Bomb doesn't really hit him, but the ghouls come out. Amin is here to reinforce him. Does land the Sonic Wave. It's not looking like he's actually going to be going in with a Resonating Strike, as that would put him in a 2 versus 1 situation, which is always dangerous. Of course, White Knight's just looking to pressure that middle lane a little bit more. And, well, a good counter gank right there out of Amin.
Yes, it was. So Armin now hanging around in the bottom area. He's, I think, looking to get the kills rolling, because he knows if he can push Lucian just a little bit further ahead of Varus, he'll start getting to a point where he can really punish hard for any kind of aggression at all. However, now that he knows Airwax is there, that means he knows the rough timing on where Airwax could appear from. Is that ward going to spot out Armin? That is the question if he goes for this gank. I have to say I think it will, but that won't necessarily stop him going aggressive. He doesn't necessarily know it's there. This could be an explosive situation. It's a 3-on-3 in the bottom lane. Gob is actually getting bullied out in top, but will they choose to go for this? I feel like the aggression from Mr. Rallis and Mixer has definitely clued them in that there is still a jungler Armin here sitting around in the background. It's going to blow up at some point.
Yeah, Crescendo is available. They will stun up Yuki here. Great Piercing Light will do a whole lot of damage as he has been ulted. Great Grasping Roots will look to turn that around. Culling comes out on towards Yuki. That is being tanked. Here, as we do have the Mega Inferno Bomb coming down. That will not hit anyone. Rallis now being forced away for himself. Kill being picked up and on Mixshot in the meantime. Airwax did not want to tank that turret. Here is White Knight looking to turn this one around for himself. As we do have the Sonic Wave connecting. Doesn't seem like Amin wants to go in just yet. And White Knight returning towards that middle lane, as we did also have Zilks actually looking to maybe pressure that bottom lane a little bit more. But then again, great fight out of STO.
Yeah, and we saw the unique strength there of the Yorick composition. You have the double AD carry when they were trying to output as much damage as possible. However, White Knight is now looking to contest this dragon. Actually spears the dragon itself. Thought it was lower than it was. Armin may go for the steal here, and he is Lee Sin. He has a big spike of damage if he can land it.
Yeah, here he goes. Doesn't quite manage to land the Sonic Wave. Will he steal it? No, he will not, as he smited it a little bit too early. And we do have White Knight now looking to pursue the enemies, but he is going to be backing away. So there you have it. First dragon of the game going over towards Airwax and his team. Great smite. White Knight looking to maybe put some damage down on that middle turret, as of course his counterpart Zilks is not here just yet. And it seems like he will maybe get some help in doing so. No, he will not, because Amin is in his base, and he will just be shoving those minions in, putting down some damage, and the blue buff has a respawn, so he will be gifted that one over.
We're in a situation right now, though, where one team actually has more gold in total, undeniably so, but at the same time, this is less focused in the right areas. For instance, Yorick has picked up quite a lot of gold in this situation, and while he isn't exactly a gold black hole, he is a gold sink that isn't going to scale super hard into the late game. He is building a Triforce, he is building a Muramana, so eventually he will have decent damage, but he's not going to be huge. He's not going to be like Lucian will be in the late game with his extra gold, making huge usage out of it. Now, Mimir in the top lane could be in trouble. Airwax is trying to sneak up on him.
Yeah, he doesn't have his Bloodwell. He does have his Bloodwell available, however, so the Ignite is going to tick on. He has used his Ghost, and he's a little bit too fast to catch up to. He will be, well, surviving through this one, as he will probably be forced to back away. Yeah, there you have it. He is going to back away here, and that means Gob and Airwax are looking to put down a whole lot of damage down on that turret, and that turret's going down.
Yeah, they can do that very easily indeed. Now, the revenge play is to take Kuja.
Crescendo comes down, he just gets bursted almost instantly. No coming out of there, and he is just going down, no problem just yet, as a great Inferno Bomb out of Zilks did seal the deal, or did not quite seal the deal for Rallis, who took a piercing arrow to the face, but he will be living through that one. Meanwhile, that middle lane, Zilks trying to capitalize on that by pushing down that middle lane, but White Knight has returned a little bit too quickly now.
Top lane gank again, they're forcing Mimer to flash out. Not an ideal situation for him because now he's pushed up against his tower, doesn't have his Tides of Blood stacked up, and you can see he's a little bit scared. Pops Hemoplague to get the wave cleared down. It's going to kind of restrict him now to pushing top lane for quite a while, and the fact that that's a predictable play does mean, and actually Mimer predicting the predictable play response there by warding it out, and now it looks like they're going to fight over white. But it is going to restrict Mimer to pushing this top lane, at least until his Hemoplague is back up. Generally, that's what he likes to be doing anyway, though. Vlad is very much a late game, very high farm sort of AP carry.
Alright, so Bouncing Bomb not quite connecting on towards White Knight, as we do have Amin hanging out in the area, so he might be looking for a gank on towards Zilks. He is standing by to actually do so. Zilks trying to put as much damage down on White Knight and his turret as he can. Javelin went a little bit weird right there, but that can happen, I guess, as the next Javelin will connect on towards a minion, and that will, of course, reduce his wave significantly. And here you have it. Amin might be looking for a gank. Doesn't seem like it, as he just walks through, as we do have Mimer being chased down once again by Airwax and Gob, but yeah, you can't catch up to Mimer, and it doesn't seem like Airwax and Gob are actually, well, giving up just yet. But Airwax just guarding the jungle entrance, and might be looking for someone, but he does decide to back away in the end.
And Airwax has spent a lot of his time this game actually going for the support of his team. And by the way, in bottom lane, Chain of Corruption did just force Mixer's flash. However, now there is Crescendo available without any response ultimate from Yuki. And indeed, it looks like they're going to try and capitalize on that. White Knight heading down there. Armin is in the area, but that ward will spot them out. And they will probably kill that ward. They're going to take the tower, whatever happens.
Yeah, no real response out of STO here, as they might be looking to take down Rallas here, but it is a 3 versus 4 situation. Spear comes out and towards Airwax, and is going to do so much damage. Zeux was looking to rotate over towards that bottom lane, but then he would find himself in a 1 versus 4 situation. Talking about those 3 remaining members of ONS who are looking to pressure that middle lane right now. We do have Zeux not being sure what to do, because of course there are 4 members of his opponent's team. Maybe looking for a gank here. Amin and Mixture hanging around the side, and it doesn't seem like they will actually be going in on towards Zeux. So once again, either team looking to, or both teams rather, looking to maybe catch someone out, but nothing happening just yet.
Very smart plant there, actually, by Kuja. You could see him putting down a plant near the wolf camp that looked very strange, because it was just kind of almost in the middle of nowhere, but he was actually doing it just in case Lee Sin was waiting in the brush to try and get the ambush down. He would have eaten the Q that would have been headed straight for his face with that plant if necessary. So smart usage, doesn't really actually end up mattering because obviously Armin wasn't there. And now it seems the focus is definitely being drawn towards this mid lane. A lot of outer towers now down. If this continues, is going to farm himself up to be a really big threat. He is just constantly shoving top, whereas Renekton roaming plays, which is good, but not actually spinning the game in their favor enough to make up for the fact that Mimer is farming and farming.
So is Rallas, however, as he did get a lot of free farm by that wave being shoved in towards their turret. Now they do manage to push it back, and the dragon has actually respawned, so that is going to be a big contention point for either team, as Rallas and Mixture are looking to pressure Airwax away, who did just warded. And well, Airwax of course looking to back away for himself, because he really doesn't want to deal with either Rallas or Mixture, and especially not the combo of those two. As White Knight and Amin are looking to close in on towards that dragon area. Ooh, Javelin not quite connecting on towards Kuja. And Amin might be trying to actually steal away this blue buff, as the ward of his just got taken out. Mega Inferno Bomb coming down. Bob might be looking to get in towards the middle of his enemy's team. Mimer is very deep, but nothing really happening just yet.
And this is actually now really quite bad for STO. They're up against a team with huge amounts of health and mana sustain, and that does mean that they have to make the engage happen themselves, trying very hard.
Flash comes out of Kuja. Mimer is very, very out of position as he is forced to use his ghost, but he isn't done sieging the enemy team just yet. Piercing arrow comes out, of course, once again of Yuki, not quite catching on towards anyone. Mimer actually looking to push that middle lane. He does force 3 members of that STO team to come over there and retaliate, but Mimer will not be getting caught out of position there, as we do still have ONS looking to take down this dragon. Zeux doesn't quite let that happen. In goes Amin. Is he going to look for the inside maneuver? No, he's not, as he safeguards back. Illness instantly. Amin gets caught. He gets blown up. Crescendo comes out and towards Kuja and Yuki. Is that going to be enough? It certainly isn't looking like it. They did have the Stranglethorns going down as a 3-for-1. Just now, Mimer now gets caught, as he is not going to be able to live through that. Piercing arrow will catch on towards him, as he does somehow stay alive. And that is going to be the dragon going over to STO.
And they finally engage STO there with a really, really unfortunate jump in by Armin. I have to question his decision there to go in. He got stunned up, which slowed down his ability to get out and allowed Renekton to get in on everyone, followed up by a chain of corruption from the side. Yuki was not attacked pretty much during the entirety of that fight, and was also able to get a 4 or 5 man chain of corruption down. So really, really huge amount of crowd control, locking them up, getting the kills, winning the fight, and then also winning the dragon. So that's a big, big swing in gold. Doesn't put them so far ahead that the rest of them are going to surrender, but it's certainly a big, big windfall.
So STO pulling ahead here, as you said. White Knight might actually be looking to decrease that gold lead of theirs, as he was pushing out that middle lane, but Zeux is there to take that minion wave out in an instant, because of course Ziggs is so powerful rather in taking out those minion waves. And Rales might be looking to roam towards that middle lane. There is a whole lot of wards, so he might just want to be careful. But it doesn't seem that he is going to be in real danger, because Amin and White Knight are there to help him out if he needs it. And in that top lane, once again, Mimer having a little bit of trouble dealing with the Gob, but nothing happening just yet, because both of these, or is there anything happening, because a Gob uses the Dominus, might be looking for a stun here on towards Mimer, but then again, Mimer gets out safely. Nothing happening just yet.
In a sustained fight, Mimer comes out ahead, which is why Gob is forced to use Dominus to go all in. And that's even considering Gob has itemized a huge amount of magic resist at this point. He has 171 and the Spirit Visage to keep his sustain going, and he's barely able to keep up with Vlad. That is a danger sign. That is going to show that Vlad will eventually get to a point where Renekton cannot deal with him. But they may be able to make an engage happen, because Renekton was sneaking around behind, but not able to get it. Varus in the bottom lane, meaning STO did not want that engage after all. If Varus had been there, you would have definitely seen him go for the fight. But as it is, the siege is continuing in mid. Varus is farming up in the bot lane though, and it does seem like Ziggs wave clear is holding the mid tower down pretty well.
Yeah, and Yuki is going to actually be able to take down this turret, so he isn't looking to actually stop right after that, as he wants to take down that second turret, and that does force Mixa to get over there, as Yuki will be recalling as a result, but Mixa will just be returning to his team. Yuki not quite done sieging yet in that middle lane. Right now STO are looking to put a little bit of pressure. In goes Amin. Will not be actually catching on towards someone. Rales goes fairly deep. Zeux puts a lot of damage down on him. Mixture will actually be interfering with Yuki's split pushing. In the meantime, I'm not sure he can actually deal with this, because this is a support versus a carry, and Mixture gets a whole lot of damage. Here's Amin to reinforce him. Great Dragon's Rage onto Yuki will do a whole lot of damage. Here is Mixture once again, and down goes Yuki to the Ignite. Great safeguard will actually be able to finish him off, but meanwhile in that middle lane we did have, I believe, a turret going down.
Yeah, and the turret in the mid lane went down thanks to a very smart rotation by Gob. He saw the situation that was arising in bot lane. He saw that Varus would get interrupted, wouldn't be able to escape, but he also saw it would take them a long time to do it, and he knew he had pushed Mima back a decently long way. So he was able to rotate mid. They were then able to use that 4-on-2 advantage, take the tower down, and actually come out a little bit ahead as a result of that exchange of the AD carry. So really, really smart stuff, but he is still having to deal with the fact that he can't pin down Mima, and he is slowly, very, very slowly losing his grip on it. It's going to take a while yet, though, it seems, because he was able to force Mima out quite comfortably there.
Yeah, he has to use his Ignite, however, so that is not going to be available for the next couple of minutes, and Mima will just be happily taking that amount of creeps that is going to be running into him fairly shortly. A little bit more farm coming down for him, as he is sitting on a 245 creep score, while the Renekton is, well, 2 creeps ahead, so nothing really standing out just yet. Mixia, White Knight, Amin, and Rales not done pushing that middle lane, and they might just be putting down a little bit more pressure, because right now they are, of course, with 4 members compared to the last time where Mixia and Amin rotated over towards that bottom lane. And speaking about the bottom lane, Yuki isn't done sieging once again.
Yeah, he's trying to catch up to Lucian, and he will do that eventually. He's doing okay for himself right now. Level 13 to level 12, but a little bit behind on gold and hence items. But the big story in terms of farm is Ziggs in this mid lane, 284. He is really, really up there, ahead of the minute, as it were, which is that strange heuristic people use where they compare their CS to the current minute of the game. 26 minutes in, he's got 280, so he is ahead. And now it seems like actually there may be a play on Mima here, but it's so difficult to pin him down when he's got his Ghost Flash and Pool available. Especially now he's got Zhonya's as well. I don't think they're really going to be able to do that unless he's massively overextended.
Gob looking to stun him up. Blood Whale comes out, or the Sanguine Pool rather, and that is going to well, return Mima to the safety of his turret. White Knight and Amin in that middle lane, still looking to defend their very own turret, as Zeus, Elrax and Kuja are right now looking to pressure that a little bit more, while Yuki, of course, was sent over towards that bottom lane to pressure that bottom tier 2 turret. Now he is looking to actually rejoin his team, as the dragon just came up, so he might have a little bit of a fight erupting over there once again in a couple of minutes. But for now, it is looking like both teams really want that blue buff, and I don't think Amin can actually do anything about that blue buff being stolen away, because that is going down very, very quickly, and Amin is all alone.
Oh, and Air actually takes it there, so that's a little bit unfortunate, because Ziggs really, really likes his blue, and his is nearly timed out. However, keeping it out of the hands of Nidalee does mean they have a much better chance of actually sieging their opponents in. So even though Nidalee is basically a champion custom designed sieging down towers and poking people away from them, and even though Sona helps with that sustain aspect, and even though they've got disengage and they've got poke from the Culling and Lucian, they are actually now starting to get into a situation where they might be able to be outdone in their particular strength. So that's looking a little bit bad there, but not so far behind that it's completely untenable. At the moment, it seems like the Dragon contest is coming in, but Mima pushing down the mid lane. At this rate, they will be able to take down the Dragon before anyone can get there. Varus is in the bot lane though. Mima rotating in. This could actually blow up before they get to fully join up. Ziggs being chased away. Will they go under?
Yeah, here we do have Gob looking to form that front line. Mima gets caught, as we do have the Mega Inferno Bomb coming in as well. Chain of Corruption will not connect, so no real Chain of Corruption for them in this fight just yet. Crescendo comes out, that will not finish anyone off. Mixia now being caught, and he is certainly going down. Gob picking up that kill, and that is a 1-for-0, and that is going to be the Dragon, or they did already pick up the Dragon, however. And, well, once again, STO looking strong.
Yeah, they're just gradually squeezing them out, and they're keeping Renekton just strong enough at any given time to be able to push away Vlad, and that is actually quite an important factor, because the moment he becomes too weak to do that, they start to run into huge problems. Actually, right now, he's chasing down Mima and is behind him, but I don't really think he's going to be able to get the kill here. Did just get a little bit of a damage spike from his Sunfire Cake, but obviously that isn't a magic resist item, so is Mima going to be doing more as well.
Yeah, Mimer not really having too much trouble getting away from Gob, as he's a little bit too elusive, of course. And White Knight will just be sieging that middle turret once again. Throws out some javelins. He will be helped out by Mixa this time around. And I think they might be able to take down this turret, but they really have to be quick about it because Yuki is heading over there rather fast as well. And they do back away in the end, so no real inhibitor, or no real inhibitor. First tier turret for them. Azralis is split pushing in that bottom lane to do maybe a little bit of a Yuki tactic right there.
Yeah, Gob popping dominance in the top lane, but not able to get the stun down. He might actually choose to flash for this. It would force Mimer's in return most likely, but going to keep going with a slice and dice. He's going for it.
Yeah, Ghost being used by Mimer. He has got that ignite ticking on him, so that is going to reduce all healing effects, as he does barely manages to get out in the end. Being forced to Ghost. But a small victory for Gob, I feel like. But he might be rotating over towards that middle lane and maybe make something happen over there.
Now it seems that this game is just so very much focused around objective contests and the siege, essentially, between both of these two teams. And a lot of that sieging is coming down to Ziggs, which is a really big factor. If he can ever get caught out, though, if Armin can get behind him at any time, he's going to have to really fear for his life. But now an interesting question is, can Yuki in the bottom lane with red buff, with 3 completed items and an extra pickaxe, fight against Mr. Rallas? Because it seems Mr. Rallas is not comfortable with the ability to duel. That's a big windfall, actually, because now Yuki can keep pushing that bot lane, and so long as he doesn't get 2-on-1'd in the bot lane, which is unlikely because there's vision control for his team, which would clue him in if anyone were to come at him, he would actually be able to just keep pushing. And while it will farm up both of them, Varus is a very strong late game carry.
You have the Sonic Wave connecting on towards Arax. That might have been a little bit of an insect maneuver coming out of Amin there in the end, but he doesn't decide to actually do it, so he backs away. And nothing really happening just yet, as we did have also Mixa rotating over towards that bottom lane to force Yuki away. But Yuki isn't done sieging just yet. And talking about sieging, that middle tier 2 turret has gone down. We do have Mimer going very, very low, using that flash and the Sanguine Pool to get away. Gob did a little bit of a peculiar flash right there as a result. So yes, Hourglass comes out of Mimer, but that is not going to be enough to actually save him, or is it? Because he uses the Sanguine Pool once again. He's a little bit too quickly. Here comes White Knight. Can he make it happen? Mimer jukes it out. Javelin connects on towards him, as we do have the Mega Inferno Bomb coming down. Mimer did die in the end. Right now, Arax looking to chase down White Knight. White Knight is not going to be able to survive this one either, and that is going to be 2 kills for none. This is going very, very good for STO.
Yeah, that gives them a lot of opportunities now. They could actually, if Yuki was there, go for the Baron. But even if they don't, if they see Mixa and Mr. Rallas down there, they could potentially have gone for it. But they choose not to. They don't have huge damage. They wouldn't have a very fast clear, and Armin is still alive. But a really strange engage there, because you can't afford to get pinned down as Mimer in that situation. And now actually it seems that because Gob has been picking up so many kills, he's keeping himself ahead for such a long period of this game, much longer than you would normally expect a Renekton to do so. In turn, however, ooh, somebody is apparently coming home. I'm not really sure. Regardless, though, does seem like this game is relatively even right now.
Yeah, no real lead. Well, there is a gold lead, but no real actual team deciding to start and finish off maybe an inhibitor or an inhibitor turret just yet, as they are a little bit hesitant of actually starting a fight, because no one really knows what is going to happen when a fight erupts, as there haven't been any fights just yet. And both teams, of course, do not want to go into the unknown, if you will, and start a fight. As I said, that is going to be a little bit peculiar. Mimer might find himself in trouble in that top lane, as there is 3 members of STO heading towards him. He has got his Sanguine Pool available, uses the Ghost, Is that going to be enough? It seems like it, as he does reach a safe distance, and he will probably be backing away, but that right now puts the STO members in between him and his enemies. Miwaza in that bottom lane. Rallis 1 versus 1ing Yuki, and that is going to be a great victory for them.
Very, very, very close run thing there, but Mr. Rallis being able to win out is super important because up till that point, seemed like STO had the control, had the potential to keep that split push going now. That gives them a big opportunity with Mima distracting so many people. They're finally going to be able to start taking this mid tower. Yes, the Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, but it's not going to be enough to stop them. They will not be able to counter-engage either. And now actually taking another potential advantage on that bottom tower. We'll see if they're able to catch anyone out in transit, though. They are looking for it.
Yeah, Mimer gets the locket over the Iron Star line. The safeguard on him. Dragon's Rage being used. Makesha finds himself in trouble as Zeux has flanked around the side. Crescendo comes down, but it really isn't enough at this point, as Zeux will be picking up that kill. It is a 5 versus 4 right now. ONS all low on their health. Rallis 1 versus 1 in Gob. You cannot do that. Gob picks that one up. He is on a rampage. Mimer has been picked up as well. Amin, the only surviving member just now. Right now it's still being chased down as he is survived as well. But Zeux and Kuja not done chasing him down just yet. So we do have Amin, who might have been looking for the kill on Zeux, but that is the end of that as he does decide against it in the end.
Interesting again there, but seems like they are actually now thinking about this Baron play. They've actually started it up straight off. 2 guys being dead. In fact, both the major damage threats. They will be taking the magic damage debuff from Nidalee for Nidalee spears, but right now that's probably not going to be enough unless he can actually spear down some really super valuable targets. Armin trying to get close for the Baron steal here, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Renekton is a little bit too scary, and they also have some pretty decent spikes. However, he is level 14 to level 15. It will be difficult, but he may try and go for it anyway.
Mixa gets blown up by the Mega Inferno Bomb right now. White Knight and Amin desperately trying to run away. Chain of Corruption lands on towards White Knight. He gets exploded. Double kill coming in there for Zeux as he is right now trying to chase down Amin. Amin not really is a little bit too fast rather to actually be chased down. Surrender vote coming out for ONS, not really succeeding yet, but STO looking to take down this inhibitor.
Yeah, with the Baron buff, with the regen, with the tanky members, they will be able to do that, and they will, in fact, take down the inhibitor as well. They can continue to push in for a little bit of time, but Mixer respawning, the fact they want to shop most likely means they will now back out. But it seems at the moment that the inability for Mima to beat Renekton in that straight-up one-on-one has cost them huge. They haven't been able to get that pressure, and because STO has been so coordinated, and because they have such a strong team fight composition that they are very practiced in using that other teams do not have a lot of experience with, they are winning out in this game, and it is their calls that are really getting them that advantage right now. Looks like there is actually a weird situation emerging because Armin and the rest of his team are actually now kind of they have the opponents between them and their own base.
Yeah, there is a 10,000 gold lead on the STO team, as you said, they might have a little bit of a weird situation for Amin and Mixa, who are maybe looking for this Dragon Steel. Doesn't seem like it, as a great smite once again comes out of Airwax. That will be securing that Dragon once again. 13,000 gold for Yuki and crew. That is not looking good for the ONS team at all, as either team or both teams are looking to back away right now, maybe buy something, as there was a whole lot of gold on the of course STO team. As we do have a Lich Bane actually coming out for the Ziggs.
Essentially an item that he's picked up in order to help with tower sieging. It's simply going to give him a huge spike of damage because he already has the short fuse passive. He walks up to a tower, auto attacks it once with a Lich Bane proc. He's doing a good 300, 400, 500 damage before resistances to the tower, and that is a big chunk considering they've only got what, 2,550 in total. That is a big spike of damage. And obviously, as a result, that means that they don't need big exposure to towers. They just need to have Renekton or Yorick walk up, tank 1 or 2 hits, maybe even use the ghouls from Yorick to do that, and then get that spike of damage down. They don't even need to expose their AD carry as a result. That means they can just continue to press this advantage. Another thing to note, Airwax has just built his full Muramana which means he is now actually a significant damage threat. Up till this point, he's mostly just been a kind of utility tank.
Both teams looking to pressure each other with the poke. I'm in, maybe looking for a little bit of an insect maneuver on Yuki or Zilks. Doesn't seem like he will be able to get it, however, as of course right now we do have that STO team with the Baron buff looking to regen that health as fast as it is probably possible in this game, aside from Sion and Mundo. But nothing happening just yet. Either team looking for that perfect engage. Talking about perfect engages, Crescendo comes out, gobs it, a whole lot of damage down on him. Zilks does manage to pick up Amin first. Right now, Myra, no grounds of trouble, uses the Zhonya's Hourglass, being forced to flash out of there, as we did have the Chain of Corruption being popped as well. So that is a 1-for-0. And right now we do have STO still looking to chain down as much damage as they can on that Baron. Great flash out of Rallis, will pick up Airwax, but is that enough? It doesn't seem like it, as they do have finished him off as well. And that is going to be yet another inhibitor right here for STO.
So even though Mixa got a perfect initiation there, 5-man Crescendo, the disengage from Stranglethorns, and the fact they had to consider if they were to try and burst down any of the major threats, they would just be resurrected, causing them to split their fire. As a result, huge win in the end there. STO take a second game, and who would have believed it given the nature of the first one in this best of 5 series? I certainly wouldn't. Really close run stuff, guys. We will be just going into a quick commercial break though, because we obviously are in a best of 5 and we still have at least